To a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very last guest of this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Kate REID. So I'm about to add Kate into the live now and I have a chat with Kate about her incredible music that she's made. So yeah, let's add Kate in and have a chat with Kate. Hey
Hi,
Kate, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show today. To people that don't know who you are, Kate, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, for sure. No, well, I just want to say thank you for having me. It's pretty cool, and you can connect with people on social media from far away and have a common ground with music and stuff. And I've watched your videos, and you're doing some pretty cool things. So thanks for having me a part. Yeah, I'm Kate REID. I'm a singer-songwriter from Canada. I was actually born in the Yukon, which is way up by Alaska, and kind of made my way over to Alberta, where I am now in Calgary. And I have a background in agriculture and have always been really interested in singing, songwriting, music, all that sort of stuff. It's always been a pretty big part of my life, but it was on the back burner for a long time. You know, you had to go to school, get a job, kind of pressure. And so it's been something I've been doing a little bit more seriously the past year, and actually have released a couple songs and been working on that. So yeah, a little bit newer to the music site scene, but done a lot in a year. So it's been exciting.
So we'll dive right into the very first question now, Kate. So you've created this incredible original song and music video called Numb. What was it like creating this music video and getting to create this like song, and like what's the meaning behind Numb?
Well, Numb is probably one of the closest songs to my heart, I guess. It's obviously a pretty sad song, so I won't get depressing here, but it was kind of from a pretty hard time in my life. Obviously an ex-boyfriend. But yeah, I've always found music is kind of like therapy, and I think everybody can relate to that. So Numb was something that I wrote in a really hard time, and I kind of thought, I was sitting down to write something, and I couldn't think of what I wanted to write, and I couldn't think of how I wanted to feel, and I couldn't think of how I wanted to express it. But I was like one day sitting there and I'm like, I'm numb. Like, I'm numb to every emotion. I'm numb to every feeling. I don't know which way's up. And it just kind of went from there. And I had the opportunity to work with a couple great singer-songwriters, producers, directors out of Nashville. And they kind of took Numb and just brought it to life. The music video was all their idea. It was Michelle and Will Golly out of Nashville, and they work with Charlotte Avenue Productions, and they are amazing. So I recommend everybody work with them. And they really took it to the next level. So that video, I wanted something that kind of showcased that emotion, and Will did that.
So on to our very next question. So you've created incredible covers. What has been your most favorite cover like to perform, and why?
Well, I love country music, so I pretty much only cover that. Sometimes I'll try and do a pop cover, but it still sounds country, so I've just given up. I think my favorite stuff to sing is a little bit more of the modern stuff, but I idolize like the 90s female country artists, and the newer ones too, but mostly Carrie Underwood. Like, she's my idol pretty much, as well as Shania Twain. Growing up listening to her song, she kind of paved the way. So I'd say anything by those two artists is my jam. And the new female up and comings as well. Like, I relate so much to Lindsay L's stuff as well as Megan Patrick. So any of those covers were probably my favorite to sing.
So on to our next question. So for a cover song, you've actually performed a song called Dancing in the Sky. What was it like performing this song, and what does this song mean to you, like especially as an artist?
Yeah, this song was actually something that I found just on YouTube. A long time ago, I had someone who was pretty close to me pass away, and found this song around that time. And I thought it was, again, just all about relatability. Music is something that I think everybody has common ground, whether we like pop, rap, whatever, country. It's something that gets people through hard times, good times, and that was something that I could relate to. I had a friend reach out to me just a couple months ago again, actually, and bring up this song that I had covered, and he asked if I would redo it for someone who he had known in his family that had passed away. And that touched me really deeply because it just shows that it's such a powerful song, and it's by some artists that weren't necessarily really well known to begin with, but that song has a pretty big meaning to it, and I find that the ones that connect most to people are the ones that I enjoy singing the most.
So on to our very next question. So you've also created an incredible cover of Blown Away. What was it like getting to perform this cover, and what does this song mean to you?
I guess Blown Away is just, again, Carrie Underwood's my idol. She was my first concert. She's, yeah, the person that I just think has the most amazing voice in country music. So the fact that I got to sing something that's by her was pretty cool as well. She's kind of one of the songs when I sing live that I always like to cover. Blown Away is a powerhouse of a song. So I try to do it justice, but there's just no one like Carrie Underwood. But yeah, it's just a fun song to sing. It's something that everybody knows, everybody likes. Yeah.
So I'll start with your next question. So you've also performed a cover of Lego House. What was it like performing this cover, and what does this cover song mean to you, especially as an artist?
I think it's relatability. That one wasn't something that was, I guess, my favorite song. I always thought it was cool. People liked it. It was something a friend requested, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. Again, it's kind of out of my genre, out of my comfort level, but something that's just fun to sing, and again, people seem to know and like. So
I have to say, by the way, Kate, your voice is truly sensational, and I have to say, to people that haven't heard of your voice and haven't heard you perform, definitely go check out Kate. Kate has such a gift and such a bright future ahead of herself as a musician and artist. You really do, and highly recommend people go support Kate, give her the amazing support and follow, and yeah, just wanted to say that. So
thank you.
You're very welcome. On to our very next question. So you've also performed a cover of Like Me. What was that like, getting to perform Like Me? And yeah, what was that like?
Again, good. It's every cover song that I put up, I'll do a poll on Instagram or something, or get people to say, okay, I want to hear this one, I want to hear this one. Some of them are things I'm comfortable with, some of them are ones that I'm not so familiar or comfortable with, but just getting the response from other people is kind of what makes it fun doing the covers.
So I'll start with your next question. So what made you decide as a person, and especially as an artist, to get into the music scene in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Started when I was little. I've always been musical. I grew up playing piano, and I always listened to country music. I don't know where it came from. My family didn't. They'd listen to some Garth Brooks, a little bit of stuff, but I kind of discovered the CMT channel when I was really little, and I fell in love with Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, Leanne Rimes, Terry Clark, all of those iconic women. And before I knew it, I'd be outside singing on my swing set, writing songs. They made no sense, but I just liked it. And I was always singing. My parents would get so annoyed. They said, she won't shut up. It's nonstop. And then I got a karaoke machine, and it just got worse. And I started playing a little bit when I was older. I feel like I really got into the songwriting when Taylor Swift came around. I remember being 14-year-old Caitlin in her bedroom, locked up, singing Teardrops on My Guitar like it was my anthem. And she was kind of that idol for probably so many teenage girls going through that awkward stage where you like a boy. It was just so relatable. So that was kind of when I got into songwriting a little bit more, and then got the opportunity to play around my hometown back in the Yukon, and kind of throughout the Yukon, and playing different events and being part of our festivals, and just kind of developed the love for being on stage. And it's just kind of grown from there. Again, it's hard. It's such a hard industry. There's so many talented people out there that people don't even know about because it's so competitive. But just being able to play more and more live has been pretty cool. So it keeps me going.
So I'll start with your next question. So who would be your all-time inspirational person or music artist that you inspire to be like?
Oh, that's so hard. There's so many. Probably Shania Twain. That would probably be I think so. She went through so much in her personal life at such a young age, and she came from nothing and made a huge career, and she's a sensation. she's got so much raw talent, and she's developed the country music industry for women. And she even became a little bit pop, and she paved that way for people. And I think she was probably one of those people that if she was told no, she said, well, watch. And I idolize her a lot.
So I'll start with your next question. So what does performing music mean to you, like especially as an artist?
It means relating to people, I guess, is the biggest thing. Like, and vulnerability. I think music has gotten me through the hardest times in my life, especially over the past couple years. And I don't know what I would have done without it. Like, you always have people ask, hey, like, if you couldn't watch TV anymore or listen to music ever again or do this ever again, what would you choose? And hands down, you could throw anything at me and I could say I would need music. I think it's such a common connection and a common ground for people, something that everybody has in common to an extent, and it's something that everybody can relate to. I think it's just needed everywhere, and I think it can bring people together. So it means the world to me knowing something that I maybe wrote or was part of could help someone or help someone going through something that maybe is similar to what I've been through, and to me that's a win.
So I'll start with your next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, or you like vibe with, who would like they be and why?
Ooh, Carrie Underwood, because I love her and I think she would be awesome to perform with. And I would just love to be on stage listening to her killer vocals. Shania Twain, just because she's my idol. I shouldn't not include the men because I love the country music men too. Honestly, probably Riley Green. He's become a little bit more known the past couple years. I think his songwriting is incredible. I think that he's going to be huge. He's already much in the past couple of years within the music industry. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He's insane. Yeah, those would probably be my top 3 right now. I'm sure they'll change. But yeah.
So I'll start with your next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, like any country in the world, after all this pandemic stuff is over, where would you want to go to and why?
There's so many places I'd like to go, but really I'd want to go home. I haven't been to the Yukon in a long time, and yes, I'd love to go for Australia. I'd love to go all over the place, play everywhere, and I want to go to Nashville. Like, that's a given, obviously, but I'd go back to the Yukon. I'd do a whole Yukon thing, go into Alaska, and come back around. And people might think that's funny because maybe there's not a huge population there, but growing up, I was so disappointed because nobody ever went to the Yukon, and I know it's small, but like, there's so many country music fans and just music fans up there in general. It's such a cool place. I would love to go back to where I'm from and play for the people that I love since the very beginning.
So I'll start with your next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, and especially as an artist, like during COVID?
Oh, so much. I've learned that it's really important to not be okay. And I've learned that it's really important to know that it's okay to say no and to just take yourself and slow down. I'm not good at being patient or slowing down, or if I want things to move forward, always music. I kind of was like, okay, like green light, let's do this, let's try this over the past year, especially through COVID. And you know what? COVID's been a terrible thing. But the positive thing for it is it gave me a chance to do a lot in a short period of time with my music. I was able to record a whole work with amazing people online. It's insane what you can do online now to connect with. The only thing I haven't been able to do much of is obviously tour and sing. But as far as writing and meeting people and building my portfolio, there's been so much that I could do. And not that I'm happy COVID happened at all, but because of that and because of everybody was so forced to slow down, and it's not a good, but it really made me realize that, okay, maybe you're trying to do more than you can chew time, and it's okay to take a step back, take a breath, slow down, and focus on something. So I was really forced to do that. Kind of just, okay, Caitlin, let's get touch. So let's write, let's focus on one thing, and let's get that done. And it forced me to grow a lot as a human, artist, as everything. Like, when you can't go out and see a lot of people or friends, and you're kind of stuck with your own thoughts, you got to work through some stuff.
Yeah. So on to our next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into creating your own music, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Yeah. Positives is, I guess, it's a way to vent, it's a way to get those feelings out on paper. It's always been helpful for me. I guess it's kind of like journal, right? You write down your thoughts and write down maybe things that are bothering you. For me, it's always seemed to turn into a song. So I have my guitar beside me, and it's just a way to, I guess, my therapy, right? To get that out on pen on paper. It makes me feel so much better, especially if I'm going through something that I don't quite understand, or don't know how to process. I guess a challenge with it is the vulnerability of it, especially when you write something and then you put it out there for other people to hear. It's a great thing and it's really exciting. You're like, if someone can relate to this and can help, or they're like, oh my gosh, that's how I feel, I love that, then that's awesome. But it's also scary because you're putting your heart out for people to see something personal, not just a drinking song or whatever. Like I've some of those too, but it's scary. It's the will I be judged thing behind it, and writer's block too, the total thing. And lately, and there's nothing more frustrating wanting to put something on pen and paper and you can't.
So on to our last question. So what's next for you, like music wise? Any projects coming up that you'd like to announce?
Totally. So I still have my 5 songs for the rest of my EP that are coming out hopefully soon. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I didn't realize before I started releasing songs that need to be done. So the next thing will hopefully be out within a month. After that, I'll release the rest of the months to follow. And I'm working on finishing the album hopefully within the next year, and plans to go to Nashville as soon as possible when everything goes down a little more, and hopefully just keep getting on where I can now that things are opening up a little more. So.
Well, thank you so much, Kate. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show today. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to give to people on the show?
Yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for having me. It's great to connect with you. I think you're doing a great thing. I just want to say thanks for doing, bringing everybody together. I guess just keep supporting local musicians because there's so much talent out there that's just unknown. And we just want to get on stage for everybody. And if you guys have a local talent come to your town or come to a cafe near you, go check it out because it's awesome. And everybody has been locked up for so long. What I want to do is play for someone. So yeah, and thanks for all the support.